work stress, because our colleagues expect something, and we have to work long hours. There is lack of communications, and there is so much fast pace over now. Everything is easy, and it has to be now, it has to be quick, it has to be right now. And with stress, you feel the pressure in your heart, you feel the pressure in your head, and it's not easy. You cannot breathe sometimes because it's too much. And the constant disruption, that notifications coming, emails coming, people coming to talk to you. And it seems like we are walking in a slime pool with a backpack full of rocks. And we cannot make progress. We feel that we are not going nowhere. And your list, and your list is becoming longer and longer and longer instead of shorter. And believe me, I've been in that position as well. We think if we have so many few things in the day, we are not doing anything. And that is not right. We should be simplifying. We should be putting less pressure on ourselves. We have enough pressure from outside. So what are we looking? What are we wonder? So sometimes you feel, and especially women, men, we have our cycles, and sometimes you feel that you don't want to do anything, and you want to cover in your duvet and do absolutely nothing. But the thing is, sometimes we cannot do that, even if we want to do that, but we cannot do that. And the only way to live a life with less stress, and I'm not saying without stress, because we need that quote of stress to move, to push ourselves, to be there, is to make better decisions, is to choose how we use our time better. We forget that. We think if we do more, we're using our time most efficiently. But the thing is, when we do more, we are overwhelmed. So, maybe you are thinking, who is this funny person with this funny accent talking about? Yes, I am Claudia Romero. I'm a holistic productivity and time efficiency coach. I'm from Chile, so that's the accent. My first language is Spanish. And I am a serial entrepreneur, so I cannot be still and do nothing. I moved here, to Scotland, almost 20 years ago. And my plan was to stay only for a few years, because if you know the Scottish weather in summer, you will want to leave. Because you have all the seasons in one day sometimes. It's like you have to have a backpack with stuff, because you never know what is going to happen. So yeah, I moved 18 years ago, and I have 3 kids. And the things started to change. My plans, my wildlife plans, that coming back to my country with my family and everything, had to change when my youngest son born with a very severely condition. So the best place to stay was here, because we have a great system. My husband is from Canada, so medicine is quite expensive. In Chile it's quite expensive, so there is no way to come back there. And so I was juggling appointments, medical appointments, and my other 2 sons were under the age of 3.5 at the time. So I had to juggle so many things without the support of family. So I didn't have the excuse that give my children to my parents, like, keep them for the weekend. So I had to juggle many things. And yes, there were times that I was a little bit overwhelmed, but never to the point to be completely exhausted or depressed. Few years after, I started my first business making clothing for special needs people. So I was managing teams, I was managing seamstress, I was managing marketing and everything. Well, I have my team, so I had the support in that area. So because I had to go to medical appointments as well with my youngest son. So it wasn't easy, and I know that for you as PAs or executive assistants or anything, it's not easy because you have to juggle with many things and expectations from other people. My expectation was in my business only, so I ran the business and I managed the teams. I was the one on top at that moment. But then my eldest son was diagnosed with ASD. So on top of everything, I had to put more appointments, going to the therapy and everything. And my middle son had his sport and many things. So many moms in the school gates asked me how I managed to do every single thing without being supported by family and also not being overwhelmed, completely exhausted. And the thing was that my entrepreneurial character started to kick again, and I had the light bulb moment. Maybe I can work with more women and help them to be less stressed, because we have to juggle many things, and society still are very much oriented to the women to take care of the children. That is changing, but still the reality is still they call mom if something happened at school. So how can we achieve more with less stress? Even if you have a mountain of things to do and they have to get done. It's maybe easy to say, but difficult to implement? Not really. It requires effort. It's not instant. It's not from one day to the other. And through the years, working with many, many women, I developed the soul productivity method that I'm going to talk about a little bit longer or later. But let me ask you a question. What is the thing that you want the most at the moment? Is it to stop working long hours? Is it to have a 4-day week? Or maybe part-time, five hours a day? Maybe travel more? We all want that. We all want something that fills our spirits. Spend more time with your family. That is one thing that sometimes we are letting down, because we are there, but we are working. So we are not there in present, in mind. And we see time pass. But the thing is that, that sounds really nice, having traveled the world, having a shorter week. But that life doesn't work like that. Well, yes. Ooh. If we make it. If you make the changes and you focus in you and your needs, and let me stress this, we need to start to focus in ourselves. And you probably hear this many, many times, but as human beings, we forget. Again, we need the constant reminder that we need to pour our own cup first. It went a little bit funny, but anyway. We need to pour our cup first to give to the others. If your tank is empty, you are not going to go even to the door. It's not focusing in the money. It's important, of course. If you want a standard of life, you need the money. But if you're tired, if you're exhausted, if you're down to the ground, you are not going to get any money because you are not going to serve your clients. And people expect too much from us. Let me tell you a quick story. This is one of my dearest clients. She came to me exhausted, visible exhausted, and she was like, I cannot cope any longer. I want to end my business because I'm done. And the first thing that we did was a time audit. And she looked at me like, are you crazy? I don't have time to go to the bathroom and you want me to sit down and write all my things during the day, that what I do during the day. And I say, trust me, it only takes like 3 minutes, 3 times a day, and you will see the results. And she said like, oh my God, I don't have time, blah, 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 blah. But the thing is, she did it. And I was there making her accountable because I knew if I let her alone, she wasn't going to do it. She was going to do it one day, maybe 2, but at the end of the week, she wasn't going to make it. So I was there every single day saying, did you write what you did? Even going to the bathroom. And the results were very impactful for her. Over the 168 hours a week that we have, she was sleeping 45 hours. That is on the verge of the minimum of an adult needs. She was only having 5 hours of personal care. That is less than an hour per day. And I'm talking about doing your personal care in the morning and everything. She was checking social media and TV, binge TV, for 40 hours. 40 whopping hours. But the one that was the cherry on the top of the cake was she was checking the news for 11 hours a week. What can change that much? Do you need 11 hours a week to check the news? No. So we reduce that, and we commit to have only 45 minutes a day of checking the news. You are going to know the news from friends and everything, so you don't need to check it for that long. So I gave her back 4 hours. And in those 4 hours, she could go to the gym. That was her main goal. And she spent more time with her family. She also reduced the social media as well, but that is a little bit more difficult sometimes. And she felt very guilty because she wasn't using her time properly, and she wasn't achieving in her work either, because she was spending too much time doing things that doesn't move. You are working in marketing and everything is fine. But if that doesn't move your business forward, you can reduce it. And the stress, because it's fast-paced and you feel that you are missing too much. And this is a common story that this was the extreme, but I had another clients that were exactly the same, spending too much time in social media and not enough time with their family and friends and the people that matter sometimes. And we say we are going to change, but we don't. We change for a few period, and then we forget. It's human nature. And that's why it's so important to have someone that keeps us accountable. It's a vicious cycle. We cannot see the end of the light at the end of the tunnel as well. sometimes when we are so overwhelmed. And many times we need that wake-up call that shake us. It happened with COVID. We changed our styles. It happened with many things. In my case, it happened, and it's always happening. It happened when I moved here and I have to leave back my family and friends. It happened when my youngest son born. It happened when my eldest son was diagnosed with ASD. And it happened last November when I was diagnosed with breast cancer. But the thing is, those wake-up calls are telling you, you need to slow down. You need to really go to basics and see what is really matter here. And I love to work, and probably you love to work, but that relationship of hate, love of work, sometimes is too much. Sometimes we need to slow down. Are you waiting for your wake-up call? Well, I talk about the soul productivity method, and this is very simple. We need to focus in 4 steps: simplify, organize and optimize, understand, and leverage. Simplify is put yourself first, as I mentioned before. Know your why, know your purpose. Because when you have that clear where you want to go, you can set a better plan. You can make better decisions. And you can see if the plan is not going exactly what you thought that it was going to be, you can make changes. You can be flexible. But because you know where you're going, you can do that. And the 4D, this is a productivity tool that many people use, and probably you as well, is the do, delay, delegate, and dump. Do what you and nobody else can do for you, and is your zone of genius, your passion, your motivation, the thing that you are, yes, this is me, and I can do this, and nobody else can do this. Delay the things that can wait a little bit longer, but you have to do it as well. And this is the big one, and the one that sometimes we don't want to do it, because delegation is like, maybe people are going to think that I'm not good enough. But delegation is the key of everything. If you are not good enough, or if you don't bring you passion, outsource the things. There are always someone that is going to do the work faster and cheaper. Because if you do it yourself, you are going to waste like 3 or 4 hours doing something that someone else can do in half an hour. So that 4 hours, you monetize it, and it's going to be more expensive for you. Of course, sometimes you need to do the things because you were hired for that. But that doesn't mean that you can delegate other things. And you can delegate at home as well. We as moms sometimes forget that. And we feel that we have to do it because we do it faster and quicker. And our children don't learn. So we can start to delegate to them some task. And then you can spend that time, free time, together. Optimize, organize, is after you did all the first part, you now can make priorities. You can also identify all the distractions and focus. And this is another thing that we as women tend to forget. When we are working, focus in work. And not, I have to go to the shopping. I have to do the shopping. I have to do the project for school. oh, I have to bake cupcakes. Because your mind is not where it's supposed to be, you're wasting time. It is scientifically proven that regain the focus, it can take sometimes in between half an hour to 2 hours, depending on the work that you're doing. So when you work, focus in work. When you're with your kids, focus in them. And a tip is having a notepad, because the brain is like 1,000 thoughts per mile. And sometimes something came to you and it disrupts you. So if you write it and leave it and refocus, it's much better. And then you can go to the notebook and say, this is not really important, and you can scroll it. Or, oh, I need to do that. And you can program and plan it. And the last one is multitask efficiently. I am not a believer of multitasking work, for example, but you can multitask certain things that doesn't clash. So for example, if you go for a walk, you can listen a podcast. Those things doesn't interfere. But if you're working and you're trying to do other things, you will see that you are not doing all the things right. If you're cooking and washing the dishes, you are not doing those things great. But you can do things that don't clash. For example, going for a lunch with a client. You're doing two things. Something nice and something work. The understand is the thing that we need to put more attention. Is understanding your own energy levels. And this is one thing that the trend sometimes is like, you need to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, do 20,000 exercises before 6 o'clock and everything. But if you're a night person, you're going to be miserable. That happened to me. Believe me, I tried to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and be more productive at that time. But it was taking me longer because I was tired, I was grumpy, I was moody, and I didn't produce. And I was trying to push myself to do the things because everybody else is doing that thing. But the thing is that you have to start to drop the things that aren't working for you, because otherwise you are going to start to feel that you are failing. And you are not failing. It's because your energy levels aren't in sync with the things that you're doing. How you use your time. And this is the exercise that I did with my clients. Because when you understand your time, how you feel during the week, maybe on Friday you feel like more exhausted, so maybe plan according to your energy levels, to your cycles, to you feel more empowered with the sun out, or plan that. When we plan, we can move things across, but when we don't plan, we don't have anything. And when you understand your failures, that moves you quickly after, because then you know how to deal with unexpected things. And the last one is leverage. How knowing your strengths and your weaknesses can move you forward faster. Because you know yourself and you know everything, you know how to use it. And when you know your weakness, you know you have to outsource that. Learning from the past. Errors aren't failures. Errors make you understand and move faster, especially if you're a self-employed person, because you know what mistakes cost you and to not do it again. But you have to have that constant reminder. And using tools, and probably you know better than me these tools that you can use to schedule, to make life easier. They are there for one reason, but you use the ones that work for you and not trying to push the things that works for others. And that is the main key. So now, do you think it's possible to achieve more with less stress? I hope so. I hope so, because the most important thing, sorry, it's a little bit wonky, but is you. If you are not right, if you are down, nobody can replace you. You are the one that you have to look after yourself. Oh, sorry. Excuse me. Ah. But anyway, you have to look after yourself. You are not replaceable. Your job is replaceable. There is someone else that can do the things that you are doing. Not the way that you do it, but someone else can do it. But you are irreplaceable. So if you get sick, what matters? Your family matters. Your people around matters. So I'm really sorry, I'm going to continue. But the thing is that we need to make the choice to change. And we need to make the choice to feel that we are doing something for ourselves. Nurture yourself. It will give you more things to do. And the base of productivity in an holistic way is understand yourself and every single thing around you. It's not anymore the productivity only at work. It's not only for profits. It's how you feel more productive. The things that feels more productive for yourself is the things that matters in your life. And when you are happy, you are going to see that you produce more because you have that energy and motivation. Sorry. No, at the bottom. Sorry. There. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. So, time is the most important asset after yourself. Because we cannot stop, we cannot save it, we cannot get back in time. We wish sometimes. But the thing is that with no time, you cannot make choices. If you have your day full of things, you are doing, just doing. You are not choosing. So the best thing to do is understand your time, understand your flow, understand everything, and you can choose. But we forget we are human beings. Every single thing after can come to us. Money can come to us. Clients can come to us when you feel okay. When you don't feel okay, when you are feeling stressed, when you are feeling overwhelmed, you are not going to see any results. Or you are going to see it, but in a longer term. The problem is that sometimes we don't believe in the prevention and we believe only in the remedies. But if we start to prevent rather than always getting better after, you will see more progress. Fill your cup, as I say. You produce more when you're happy. And of course, if you like to achieve more with less stress, I'm here to help. It hasn't been easy. The thing is, we overwhelm sometimes, but it's how we deal with that overwhelm. and looking for the things that matter the most is the key here. So you can see myself in all those platforms, and look my website. All the workshops and all the programs that I do are tailored for each individual, because we are different. We all are different, and we have different needs. So before you go, I want to give something for you so you can download, and it's the soul checklist. That will help you to understand your rhythms, to understand your days, and prepare more. So it is not that difficult, but it needs commitment. It needs a quote of consistency, and always find someone to keep you accountable. Because we say, I'm going to do it, but it's like going to a gym. Sometimes I'm going to do it every single day this month. And by the first week, you are dropping things. And it's human nature. But the main thing is, if you are happy, you will see that you are going to produce much more. So to achieve anything, commitment, discipline, although we don't like that word, it is one word that can help you quite a lot. So you are the key. You are the one. Starting yourself. What makes you happy? What are your priorities? And that is the key for productivity, and live a life with less stress. Thank you very much. Any feedback, you can fill a form, and if you want to reach me, it would be great. Any questions? Happy to answer if you come back to me and we can talk. Thank you very much.